Please let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Excited to be here today. Cool. All right. Sounds like we're good. We are live. So, all right. So first of all, is there any echo or anything like that? We're good. Awesome. Amazing. Cool. Sounds good. Cool. So first of all, I just want to say thank you everyone for coming every week, to the office hours here, filling in for Marcus. Marcus is out, and today we are going to take a look at a special project that I built a couple weeks ago called Scaffold-TRON, and it is based on Scaffold ETH. For anyone who's new to building on Tron, if you're like in the Ethereum ecosystem, there are some like little gotchas and they use different tooling. And so I basically wanted to build something that had the same experience as Scaffold ETH, but for Tron, so that developers who maybe are familiar with Ethereum could kind of dabble a little bit in Tron. And then also we wanted to have something to showcase people how to stream data from Substreams into Tron as well, or from Tron. So I built a starter kit. Let me go ahead and we'll just dive right into it today. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let's go ahead and share my entire screen here. Let's take a look. So currently this is on my personal GitHub. I think we'll probably move a copy of this or an example of this into the GitHub for Graph Protocol under examples. So you'll go to examples and there will be a section for this in there, probably a special Tron folder. But for right now, if you want to check this out, it is available on GitHub. It's under KMJones1979. This is the same exact style as a typical Scaffold ETH application. It's a mono repo. What's important to know is there's this kind of main branch, but really the Substreams branch is probably the branch you're going to want to use. Most of the functionality is in the main branches, also in Substreams. The difference is the Substreams has the special Substreams folder and a Docker setup to be able to stream some data from Substreams into that database. We're going to show it off here in a sec. And yeah, there's a really good README that kind of talks about, what Scaffold ETH does, some of that functionality, as well as Tron specifically as well. And you can kind of come through here. You can learn a little bit about the differences in the network architecture in terms of blocks and transactions per second. As you can see, Tron is a little bit faster, obviously, than Ethereum mainnet, and that uses some different consensus algorithm. And there's some differences with the address formats as well. Like Tron uses this base 58 encoded, whereas like Ethereum, you're probably very familiar with this hexadecimal 20 bytes long. So there are some little gotchas, but I've created some helpers that really make it easy for you to get started. Let's go ahead and get it up and running so we can kind of just start diving into it. I'll try to keep it on chat every once in a while. I'll pop over there and see if people have questions, but maybe it's better if I just answer questions kind of at the end. So if anyone hasn't heard of Scaffold ETH, I've been on here always talking about Scaffold ETH. It's a mono repo, so it's got different components, and so you need a few windows to run it. So I'm just using tmux here to just kind of split my screen up. So first thing when you do is you check out the repository. You're going to want to make sure you're in that branch. So make sure you're in the Substreams branch. So you can do that with a checkout command like this, get checkout-b Substreams. Once you're in that branch, you're going to want to do just a yarn install or just type yarn. That's going to install the packages. So, this is an app running on Next.js. It's got all the tooling in there and everything you need. We're going to use the Ethereum chain just to show off that you can use Hardhat inside of the project. So we're going to spin up the chain with yarn chain. If you just want to develop on Tron, you don't necessarily need to do that. But I like to say that you could build your app in Hardhat, test it locally in Ethereum, and then eventually migrate it to Tron. And so it's kind of an interesting developer flow, but you can do that. Then you want to open up a new window and do yarn start. So if anyone's watched my demos, this is very, very familiar. There are some UI errors that I'm going to get rid of that aren't really affecting the application right now, but you should see those. But eventually you'll see that it runs on port 3000, right? And then if you want to deploy your application or your smart contract to the chain, you just do yarn deploy, just like you would with Scaffold ETH, right? So yarn deploy is going to take that contract and deploy it locally to hard hat using the standard deploy script. Okay, so then at this point, let's go ahead and take a look at Scaffold-TRON. So let's just refresh, make sure we have the newest version of the app. So if anyone's seen Scaffold-ETH, it's very, very similar, right? The main difference is that we have this kind of toggle where you can say, all right, well, I want to be on Ethereum or I want to be on Tron. Now, when you're on Ethereum and you come to the debug contracts and you've deployed your contract, with the standard way, like yarn deploy, this debug contracts is the magic sauce of Scaffold-ETH. Is what it does is it takes the API and it loads it in so that you can start tinkering around with the smart contract and testing like what you're working on. So it's a very useful tool. It's running a little slow right now, but we'll give it a second. And then it's going to tell you, oh, it was reloading, that's why. So there we go, debug contracts. And you'll see here that we have debug contracts for both Ethereum and Tron. So what's cool is we could deploy our contract to Tron as well using this Tron, and you'll see that there's no contracts found. I think we actually need to deploy the contract, or maybe it's on the wrong chain. So what I want to next show off is, so yeah, if we deployed our app here, we have this like building unstoppable apps. We could set a greeting to hello world or something like that and say send. It's going to tell us I don't have enough for gas. So the typical flow to get gas on Ethereum is you have like some ETH in hard hat or whatever chain you're on. So there's a button for that. And then we can change our contract. So we made this change. So we're able to test on Ethereum, no problem. But we're talking about Tron, right? So what do we want to do? Well, first of all, let's go back to the project and let's take a look at the structure. So it is a mono repo, just like Scaffold-ETH is. It's got this hard hat folder. So if you're working with your contract, you're going to go into this contracts folder, and then here is your contract. So you can make whatever changes you want here. Something to know is that there's certain opcodes that are not available on Tron that you might not be able to use. So just be mindful of that if you're building your contract, but it's still Solidity. So you can still write a smart contract. We're not going to be messing too much with Solidity. We're just going to show the flow. And so I have a contract here. It's working. I deployed it on Ethereum and it works. We're eventually going to move it to Tron. We'll get to that in a second. But then I want to look at the Next.js folder. So what I've added to the Next.js folder is inside of the scaffold config, you can basically say whether you want Ethereum enabled or not, or Tron enabled or not, and you can specify what network you're on. So here we have Tron Shasta, which is their test net. You can see here that there's also Nile, which is, I think, another test net, or you have Tron mainnet. And we'll switch it to Tron mainnet later because we're going to show the Substream stuff, which is only on mainnet. But we could say Ethereum enabled false like this, and then come over here and do a refresh. And then we'll kind of get rid of this like Ethereum experience, right? What's this? I think I was trying to do something. Okay, so now we have completely kind of abstracted away Ethereum. So if you're just trying to build on Tron, then you can just kind of set that to false. Now what we need to do is you need to install a different wallet because you need to use Tron's tooling. So in this case, I have Tron Link, which is just like a very basic wallet. And I need to install that and connect. So we can just click this little connect button and that will connect me. So you need to make sure it's unlocked and then connect, and it should connect. Hopefully it's not running too slow here. It's been a while since I walked through this, so let's hope there's no issues. Might need to refresh. Let's just double check. Okay, so Tron Link, we might have to debug in real time. Well, we can look at the developer tools. It seems like my machine's running a bit slower right now. So let's see. Let me try to restart the web server real quick just to see if there's some weird caching or something like that. My browser's like not even responding to me. No, the demo gods. Okay, well, while that's waiting, let's just give it a second. Let me keep walking through the config here. So we have this kind of Next.js application, and then inside the app, we have the Substreams tab. So the Substreams tab we'll get to in a little bit, but it's basically going to allow us to stream some data from a database that we're going to be running, and we're going to stream that data inside of that environment. So let's see if we can do it. Oh my gosh, this is completely crashed. I wonder if my video froze. Let's see. Seems like it's working now. Oh no, my video froze completely out. Oh really? I'm only seeing like the Tron link on my thing here. So I think my video did crash actually. Let me, I'm gonna have to probably reboot and come back in because my browser's completely wiped out. So the video is working, it's just my screen share is not working. So let's see what I can do here. I'm gonna try to, I don't know if I'm gonna lose video. I might have to log back into Riverside, so give me 1 second here. Yeah, because my Internet Explorer is just like not responding. Or sorry, not Internet Explorer, Google Chrome. What am I thinking? 1 second. I'm gonna have to quit it out. My Google Chrome. Okay, cool. Nice. It saved my video. So let me just make sure you guys can still see me okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Sorry guys. Maybe I need to close some browsers before, or some windows before I start going again here. Let me close out some stuff here so we don't have this issue. Yeah, that's what happens when you have too many tabs open. They just keep popping up and you don't want to close them. Okay. Okay, cool. Closing out a bunch of stuff. That way we don't have issues. I don't even know what I'm closing. I'm closing it all. Okay. All right. So let's see if Scaffold finally is reloading. It looks like it is. Cool. Okay. Let me go ahead and share my screen again, and we'll keep going. Sorry, guys. Okay. So share screen, entire screen. There we go. Okay. Cool. So let's try to connect Tron link again. Let's see if it works. So unlock it. Okay, so now there we go. Cool. So now you guys can see here that I'm connected with my Tron wallet. So you see I have this little green thing that shows it's connected. If I click on this, it's going to send me to a faucet where I can get some funds. So if you want to get some testnet tokens, you can come to this website, and that's just by clicking that same kind of faucet button. The difference is it's not going to automatically dump it. You just need to manually do it. But let's go to debug contracts and see if we have a deployment. We probably don't. So I think we actually need to generate a deployer. So let's take a look at the README. So if we come down here, by the way, everything that I've done is outlined here. So you need to clone the repository, install the dependencies, run the chain, deploy, start your front end. When you want to create an account on Scaffold-TRON, there's this command to do that. So you can grab this and come over here and we can run it. So let's run Tron setup. So what it's going to do is it's going to create accounts for us, and it's going to give you these QR codes that you could fund. And so it's going to create an account on every single network. So it's going to create a different one for Shasta, for Nile, and for mainnet. Now, normally you would not want to show private keys, but these are just, I'm not using real funds at all. So don't worry, you're not going to be able to steal my funds. But you could basically take this and then load it up. So what I'm going to do is just take this address and let's just make sure it has some funds. So I'm going to come here and say I'm not a robot and go ahead and obtain some testnet. There we go. So now there's another command to see your balances. So if we come down here, we can run yarn tron balance. Okay, so that's going to be, it's going to give us the balance for our accounts. And oh no, it says I don't have any funds. Let's try it again. Maybe it's a little slow. Oh, that's, let me just make sure that's the right address, right? Let's refresh. Let me make sure that was the address I used, right? Okay, so it says I have coins. That's weird. well, we can try to deploy and see maybe there's something wrong with the balance checker and maybe it's not working. But that should show your balance. Maybe there's some kind of issue there. So let's go ahead and try to deploy. So first of all, if you want to compile your contracts, you can run yarn-tron compile. So this will take the contracts, compile them, make sure that they work, and then we can run tron deploy testnet to deploy. So let's pray that it works. This is going to, there we go. So I have a balance of 2000 TRX. Let me make that a little bigger. And here we go. So it looks like it deployed successfully. So it deployed one contract to Shasta testnet. So now we should be able to come over here in Scaffold-TRON and we'll see that we have our contract loaded up. So it was able to successfully see it. Some kind of weird unknown error. Let me see if there's, I might be on the wrong network. That could be what it is. So you do need to come here and make sure that you're on Shasta and then maybe refresh. That's not working. Let me try to disconnect completely. Disconnect. Got it. Now we can connect. That's weird. Should let me, there we go. Connect, refresh. Interesting, okay. Please connect your TronLink wallet. That's so weird. It should work because I'm on that network and you can see here that I've used some tokens before. So seeing my balance, I'm on Shasta. Let me try to restart the thing real quick just to make sure. Start, and then if not, we'll use AI to fix it, and that'll be fun. Let's see. So it's loading. Let me refresh. Let me go to home. We haven't got to the Substreams stuff yet. If this doesn't work, we can maybe see if AI can fix it while we're just showing off the Substream stuff as well. Okay, let's go 1000. So it's compiling. The demo gods are definitely not with me today. Okay, so it shows I'm connected, so it should work. Shasta testnet, I'm connected. Come to debug contracts. There we go. Now it's working. I don't know, something I had to restart the session. Now what you'll see here is we have a contract deployed. We can see that I'm the owner of the contract. Well, this deployer that I use is the owner of the contract. And we have this premium. It looks to me like it's reusing my old contract. That's possible. I might have deployed a third copy or something. This is actually a cached one, but that's okay. We're just going to show it for the demo. There are obviously it's not perfect. There's maybe some bugs, but we could set this to whatever we want. So we can say Biddle Tron applications like this and hit send. And failed to write to Tron contract. No. All right, now we're going to use AI. Let's see if AI can fix it. Maybe it'll figure out why. Okay, so while that's doing that, let's see if we can figure out what's going on. But I want to set up the Substream stuff. So let's assume we were able to successfully deploy our contract to eventually mainnet, right? You've built an app on mainnet. There's also a testing component as well. But what I want to show next is the Substreams. So let's go down to Substreams. And let's take a look at this. So it's this similar flow. If you haven't used Substreams before, you need to like authenticate to be able to stream some data. And so I've gone ahead and set up this, my API key. And I've set up a function inside of my terminal that I can just run SF token, and that will authenticate me. So I can come over here. I can come here and run SF token, and that's going to set my API token. So you need to do that first because that's going to be how you stream data into your database. And then what we can do is go ahead and stream some data. So there's different ways you can do it. There's a package for it, but I also did create some scripts which make it easy. So if you come into here to the package JSON, I'm trying to remember, we can actually look at the history. Let's see what it was. Yeah, here we go. So first we need to spin up the Docker environment. So what we're using for this demo is we have just a Postgres database that we're going to stream the Tron foundational package into. And we're going to just basically expose it with graphical, so a GraphQL interface. So we can run, Docker up, let's see, up, yarn substreams Docker up, and this will spin up our front end there. And then we can also take a look at how we're going to stream some stuff. So there's a command to clean up the database first. So if you had like some data in there and you wanted to retest kind of everything, there's a Substreams clean DB command. We can run that just to be sure that we completely clean it out, which you can see that it found one transaction and it deleted it. And then now we can do this kind of like demo, okay? So yarn substreams demo is going to have like a certain command, which we can take a look at it, but it's going to be inside the package JSON. Let me close this. And we go to Substreams demo. It's going to run the Substreams package right here, which is the TRON foundational, and it's going to filter transactions up to a certain amount. And then it's going to basically put those into the database. So it's going to stream it directly to the database. So when we did that, we can see here that we actually streamed direct data directly from Substreams and put it into our database. And then what I've also done is on this TRON Substreams tab, we have the ability to see that data. So all the data is going to be exposed again with GraphQL. So the data is coming from Substreams, goes into the database on your Docker instance. Obviously, you could put that data wherever you want. You could put it to ClickHouse or whatever method that you want to use for Substreams, and it's going to store it for us. Now, all these links are going to be tied to what chain that you're on. So for the sake of testing, I'm kind of going to do a little context switching. I'm going to see if this works. So, okay, it wanted me to generate the TRON contract. So let's actually try to do that real quick so that we can test if the contract deployed successfully. So let's go here, CD packages. Was it in hard hat? Yeah. So there's a script that will generate the things. There it goes. Okay, that should work. We can try it again one more time. Let's just go there. Debug contracts. I really would like to be able to show that this works. Building TRON dApps. Send. Nah, it's not working. Okay, that's okay. All right, let's go back to the Substream stuff. So yeah, so what we have here is we want to be able to see this data. So what we get is like, in this case, I'm taking like the transaction hash from the connection, what block that it was mined on, the timestamp that it was loaded into the database. I believe that's the time it was loaded into the database. The type of call, so like TRON has like different transaction types. There's like a lot of them. And so we want to keep track of that. And then we want to keep track of the from and the to address, as well as like how much value. So these are actually like transactions that are coming directly from mainnet. And so what we can do is go to our scaffold config, and let me close this, and let's switch this to TRON mainnet. This way, all of the links that are in this TRON Substreams will be the mainnet links. That is one caveat, because Substreams is only supported on mainnet for TRON. So now we should see those working. And so if we look at this transaction hash, we should be able to look at it on TRON scan. There we go. So this is a successful transaction. We should be able to also look at the addresses as well. So this is an address. This is the net assets that it holds. And this is who it was transmitted to. It only has 44 cents. And so it is working. And then this is not a contract call. These are transfers, which is, I guess, important to understand. And then you can also filter. You can do some filtering. Sorry, I did not mean to do that. You can filter here. So let's say we want to get some other data. Let's say we want to get contract data. So what I'm going to do is clean up the DB again real quick. And then there's another command to test if you want to test, and it's here in the package JSON. It is just lend multi. There's also just lend right here. So this is data coming from the just lend protocol. So let's try to run that and see if we get any data. So it's substreams just len multi. So we run yarn substreams, and get rid of that quote. Boom. There we go. So it only put one thing in the database, but let's go ahead and take a look at it. So now we can refresh and we'll see this transaction. So the difference is that it's not a from to, it's not a transfer, it was a smart contract trigger. So this is the contract that was called. So if we click that, then we can get details about this contract from the Tron scan. Let's see if it loads. This should be the just lend smart contract if I did everything correctly. No, it's not loading. Okay, demo gods are not in my favor. Okay, so so if you want to build on Tron, this is using this kind of like Tron foundational substreams, which is here. And I believe, if I remember correctly, when I built it, there is so the Docker compose files here of how we spin up the database. So you could kind of modify this how you want. And then inside of the actual source is the source file for the Tron foundational subgraph as well. So if you wanted to make changes to it, I believe I'm using like filter transactions as well, so that you should be able to just filter transactions by a certain address as well. And then all of the commands to do the streaming are also in here that allow you to stream direct to the database. And yeah, I'm trying to think what else. The protobuf is here, which is just like the Tron transactions protobuf, in case you need it. And I think that's pretty much it. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, and I guess it makes sense to talk about, there are some like modified components. I believe that they're inside here. They're these here. So, because addresses are a little different on Tron, we have a special Tron address component. So like this, what you see here is modified to work specifically for Tron. So, normally you would do like an address component with Scaffold-TRON. So now you can do a Tron address one. You can also get the balance, which uses a different kind of hook. So like this is like what we're seeing here. And there's a different connect button. So like this connect button that we have here is a special Tron one as well. And then this network dropdown, I think, as well. Actually, I don't know where that network dropdown button is being used. That might not be being used. It might have been something that I was working on, and then it's not available right now. Okay, so I don't know why this contract is not showing up. I kind of want to try to see if I can GALE it. Error wallet address is not set. I don't understand why that is. That's so weird. It should. There are some gotchas with this wallet. I'll try to refresh it one more time. Let's try to use AI to fix it and see what it says. On page, I get, let's see, it could be either the contract is out of sync. We could look at the history here and see what was deployed. Let's look. So we deployed, oh man, I did the history, so there's going to be a bunch. That's not worth it. But yeah, it seems like there's some kind of like thing out of sync with the thing, so I'm not sure exactly what it is, but let's see. Tron config. It's making a bunch of changes, so. Contract, your contract not found. Oh, it's starting to do some changes actually. Let's check it out, my Tron config. Gotta love live coding with AI. We're vibing right now. Okay, so it looks like it wants to do some error checking. It still thinks that there's a contract mismatch, which is very, very weird. So I kind of want to run it and see what it says. Kind of give that back to it. Let's see. Yeah, so it still has the old contracts. That's kind of weird. I probably should have gone through ahead of time and then deleted from the known contracts so that it would be a fresh thing. I could actually do that. You know what, let me do that. Let me Let's stop this and I'll show you how to do that. So inside of here, we have Tron deployments. What we can do is just completely remove this one. And then I think we have inside of, where is it at? Contracts, deployed Tron contracts. We have the ABI in here. And we also have the deployed contract here. So we could take this out as well. And then what we can do is try to redeploy. So let's go back and let's see if that helps. We need to do testnet. Was it yarn Tron deploy testnet? So let's see, this should deploy a new copy of the contract. I think it was trying to do a cached contract. There we go. And let's see it. Now it updated it with here, you can see. And I think it should have updated here as well. Yeah, so it updates both files. And so now maybe it's gonna work. Let's try to refresh. I should have gone in there ahead of time and cleaned that out. Okay, let's go to debug contracts. Now it says no contract. Oh, because I'm on mainnet. Let me go back to Shasta. Okay, let's try it again. Pray to the gods of demos. Okay, well, the data's there, but it looks to me like, let me make sure Tron link is good. I could also try to restart the web server real quick. Let me disconnect. And let me just stop the web server one more time. Start, refresh. So this is stopping the web server, restarting it, disconnecting from the TronLink wallet. So it should be completely fresh with the new contract, unless there's something weird being cached somewhere. Let's see. I really would like to be able to just update the status before I end, and then we'll be good. For some reason, it's a little slower to compile. It might be something with the Tron tooling, because Tron has its own kind of set of tooling, and I'm not too familiar with it. I've implemented the basic stuff. Here we go. So now we can connect and then hit refresh. Please connect your TronLink wallet. I did. It is connected. I don't understand. It's on Shasta, right? Let me try switching back. That's a bummer. I'll have to troubleshoot this a little later and fix it, because it should work out of the box. I'm just going to try going to the homepage real quick and then back and see what happens. It'd be nice if I could disconnect from here, actually. I think that might be like a feature that I need to add so that I can, so it says build the future here. It should work here. There we go. For some reason, you have to go out and come back. That's really strange. Okay, let's try it one more time. Building Tron dApps. Send. All right, I'm gonna try this one more time. Let's see if AI can save the day for my demo. Oh, something with the address conversion stuff. So I was doing some stuff where I was trying to fix the address. So maybe like I'm storing the address wrong. And so it's, because it's kind of weird. You need to like work in the specific format of the address with base 58. And so, so it looks like it was storing, I see here. So this is a bug I need to fix. So here inside of the Tron deployments, I remember this now. See how it says address, and these are 20 bytes. What you need to actually do is use these. So the address base 58 needs to be here inside of this one. That's what it is. Let's try it now. So somehow I need to fix it so that this, when it gets generated, is using the right one. Come on. It's reading it here. So it should read it here. Okay, here we go. You ready? So let's see. Building Tron dApps. Send. Okay, it's not working. Okay, I tried. Okay, so let me pause there, and enough of me fumbling around on the keyboard, and let's go ahead and answer some questions. Cool. Is fixes the error message so they can know you? Yeah. Demo gods, yes. Are there any questions about the setup or anything you guys wanted to ask? See some typing here. Awesome, cool. Well, I hope that was a good intro to uh, the setup, and yeah, this is still a work in progress, but the Substreams package that's in there is built on the Tron foundational Substreams package, so you can easily use that as a starting point. Even if you don't want to use Scaffold-T, just go to that Substreams directory, and you can kind of see like how I filter transactions. And yeah, thanks so much, guys, and I hope it was useful, and I'll catch you guys next time.